This is the most magical moment you will have in Bali. I am blown away by the beauty of nature that waited for us this morning. Probably 30 to 50 dolphins were swimming with us for sunrise, jumping out of the water, and gave everyone the biggest smile on their faces they ever had. It was truly unique and something that you could never describe into words. From swimming with dolphins, snorkeling, bioluminescent water, and waterfalls, I will tell you everything that you need to know about this hidden place on Bali that you probably never heard before, and if you should add this to your future Bali travel plans. Lovina is a little fisher village in the north of Bali and is around 2 to 3 hours away from most of the tourist areas in Bali. And I will show you today what you can do there, if you should go there, what restaurants or stays should you plan in, and if you should stay there overnight or if you should just do a day tour there to see the amazing wildlife of the dolphins and everything else this area has to offer. I will start with the most amazing thing to do here in Lovina and is the main reason why people come here, and it's the watching and swimming with the dolphins. And it is really so amazing. When we were there, you leave at 6 a.m. for the sunrise. The ocean is completely calm, and then you find the dolphins with lots of other boats as well. And then we were driving around searching the dolphins, and suddenly there were 20, 30 to 50 dolphins jumping out of the water at the same time for like 3 minutes, and we were right at the beginning of all of the other boats, and it was so beautiful to see, and really the most magical moment that I had in Bali. It was really so beautiful, and it is really affordable when you compare it to other offers on the whole world to see dolphins, because we paid for a whole private tour. We were just 2 people on the boat. We paid $18 per person, and we had our private driver, an empty boat, because other boats offer also group tours that were packed with people, and probably you get a cheaper price, but in my opinion $80 is quite really cheap for that already. And then you drive out at 6 a.m. They also include a little breakfast on the boat. And after the dolphin seeing and swimming, because you can also hang in the water with those wooden bars that are mounted with ropes on the boat, and then you can dive under the water and see the dolphins also from the water. And that's not possible with a group boat tour because it's just too many people. And after that, we also had snorkeling included, because there are some coral reefs in Lovina that you can also see the corals and the fishes that were really beautiful, but not as beautiful as, for example, Ahmed or Nusa Penida, but it was just nice to add that. After that, I can also link you down our tour guide that we booked it with, and we did a really good price with that one. The boat was completely new, and it was just a really nice experience, and the driver definitely knew where to drive, that we had the best view of the dolphins. The next thing that you can do in Lovina is in the evening, and it's the bioluminescent water that you can see. It's when the waves break or you touch the water and it lights up because of the plankton that is in it. And Lovina is one of the few places on the world where you can actually see that, and it's also quite cheap because they just take you out on a boat, and it's about $6 per person. You can also text the guide for the dolphins that I link you down below. And if you're here, you should definitely add that one, and it starts about 7 p.m. in the evening. And if you're in that area already, you can see the 3 most famous or impressive waterfalls of all of Bali, because they are quite near to Lovina. The first one is the second pool waterfall. It's about 1 hour away from Lovina, and it's probably the biggest one, and it's also the most famous one in all of Bali. And in the last month they changed some things, so you can't just go to the waterfall, you need to take a guide now. And if you want to just have the view of the second pool waterfall, it's about $1 that you just pay for the view. But I would recommend you to go down. It's a lot of stairs, so keep that in mind. But if you go down, you have a really impressive view of the waterfall from the bottom, but you will get very, very wet because of all the water that is coming down. And if you want to go down with a guide, the small round is about $7 and the longer one is about $12 per person that you need to pay. And it's also a few hours, so keep that in mind. If you like the value that you're getting out of this video, please help me out, like and subscribe to help this channel grow. Also, another waterfall that is really close to the second pool waterfall, and I think you can basically walk, is the Fiji waterfall. And next to the Fiji waterfall, there's also a local family that is running a water slide that is basically just nature rock and the water running. And you can rent out an old car tire and just slide that down a few times. And it's really fun. If you're close to that, you can just add that into it. The second waterfall is the Aling Aling waterfall, and it's about 25 minutes away from Lovina. And it's not that impressive or high, but it's more a fun waterfall where you can jump into the water from different spots, and there's also a mini water slide. So if you want to go there, you also have to pay $1 if you just want to look at it, or if you want to jump and do all of the fun activities, you need to pay a guide about $7 that he can show you where to jump, and you cannot go there without any guides. And the third one is the Banyumala Twin Waterfall. Beware that you go to the Twin Waterfall, not just the Banyumala Waterfall. And it's about 1 hour away from Lovina as well, and the entrance is $3 to go there, but it also looks very, very impressive and is close to also some other attractions near that you can add into your list. Like, for example, Munduk or the Ulun Danu Beratan temple that is really impressive on a lake and that you can just add after that waterfall into your bucket list. If you're staying in the Lovina area overnight and you have extra time, I can also recommend you 2 other things, but I wouldn't drive because of that to Lovina, and I would rather choose the waterfalls if you don't have that much time. The first ones are the hot springs. It's called Banjas Airpanas, where you can just go into little pools that they created for the hot springs. And the second one is the biggest Buddhist temple in Bali, because normally Bali is Hindu, but they have the biggest Buddhist temple in Bali there, and it's about 20 minutes away from Lovina, and both of it are like 5 minutes away from each other. And also one thing to mention, that the beaches in Lovina are not the best. They are black sand, but also a bit dirty and not really welcoming in my opinion. So don't go there and expect to lay on the beach. Actually, there are way more beautiful beaches, for example, in Uluwatu or in the other islands surrounding from Bali, for example, Nusa Penidas, Gili's or Lombok. And if you're in Lovina and you're hungry, I can recommend you these restaurants that I will blend in now. And 2 really stand out. First one is the Cafe Leo. It's brandly new open and it's so good. Like their breakfast and all of the foods that they have, we loved it and came very often. And the second one that is very unique is the Global Village Foundation Cafe. And it is a cafe founded from a charity organization, and all of the people that are employed are hearing disabled. So you don't talk when you order, you just point on the menu, and so they create jobs for people that normally would have it harder to get jobs there. And all of the profit from the cafe is going to that charity that they can help more people on the island that have some disabilities and need help. And if you want to make a donation for that, because I just loved how they did it so much, I will link down their Instagram so you can just donate on that one and help them out, and also help out all of the Balinese people that don't have that much money but get really helped by the charity. So now you know that you should definitely visit Lovina for the dolphins, because this is really once in a lifetime experience and it really blew me away to see all of their dolphins. But the question is, how do you get there, where do you stay, and how long do you stay? So you can go there with a private driver and stay in a hotel or Airbnb. You can also take your own bike, drive there on your own, and also stay in an Airbnb and hotel. But be careful when booking. You should definitely only book places that look relatively new, because the place is far away from the tourist attractions, and if the places don't get used very commonly in Bali, or they don't really care for the place that much, you will have mold in the place, and that's what happened to us. It looked really nice on Airbnb, but it was full of mold, also the cabins, so we had to move out on the day and just search another Airbnb and hotel. So really book something that is new, and always book with Airbnb and Agoda, so you have their support if something is wrong with the property. But I actually recommend you in this type to just do a day trip to Lovina, because there are many providers on the internet where you can just book a day trip and then they will pick you up at 3 a.m. in the most touristy areas like Canggu, Seminyak, Sanur, wherever you're staying, and drive you with a private driver to Lovina at 6 a.m. You leave with the boat that is already included in that trip to the dolphins, and after the dolphins, or maybe another waterfall if you book that as well, you will get brought back to your hotel or Airbnb in your area that you normally stay. And it starts from about $70 online. Just Google it, read the reviews, and that actually saves you a lot of time, because it's just a day trip for you if you do it like that, and you don't have to spend a night there. And I think you actually save a lot of money, because you don't have to spend it with an Airbnb and drive there on your own, because there is also no Gojek. So if you order a Gojek to Lovina, you won't be able to book one back, because there are no Gojek drivers in Lovina and in all of the rest of Bali that is not super touristy. So I can highly recommend you to do that day trip to Lovina for the dolphins, because it was so unique to see all of them, and it's really a must see when you're here in Bali. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in one of my next videos where I show you the most beautiful places on earth.